All right. It's a great honor to be joined by one of the young stars, the young studs in the world of boxing. He has a massive fight on June 5th in Australia, June 4th here in the United States. You know this man. He is the undefeated sensation. He is the man going for the undisputed lightweight titles on June 5th. Melbourne, Australia, Marvel Stadium, the one and only Devin the Dream Haney going up against George Kambosos Jr. Massive fight. Appreciate your time, Devin. Thank you for doing this.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to do this interview.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot to talk to you about. 135 right now is on fire. In fact, you were in Vegas for the Shakur Stevenson fight this past weekend. What did you think of his performance?
I thought Shakur went in there and he put on a great performance, a master boxing class. He went in there and he did what I thought he would do, and he got the victory. So, yeah, props to him.
So I've said a few times, 135 I think is the best weight class, not only in boxing but in combat sports, but in boxing in particular, men and women. Because at MSG, I was there. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano were fighting at 135 as well. Do you agree? I
Mhm.
feel like you will agree with this. Do you agree that right now 135 is the best weight in boxing?
Yeah, I definitely agree, and that's why I feel like after this fight, when I become undisputed, that I got to be put on the pound for pound list because if it's one champion and this is the most exciting, most toughest division in boxing, then if it's one man on top, he has to be on the pound for pound list.
I agree. Yeah, you don't think? Wait, you think people would put you off the pound for pound list even if you win on June 5th?
I hope not. I hope not. But I doubt it. I feel like the boxing world knows, the true fans know that you know you got to be on the pound for pound list if you come out on top of the lightweight division. Because a few months ago they were saying that it was the toughest division, that it was all young studs there. So yeah.
When you made your pro debut in 2015, did you think just a few short years later, you're 23, that you'd be in this spot, you know, on the verge of undisputed gold, on the verge of pound for pound list? Or is this kind of happening a little quicker than you and your father, Bill, had imagined early on?
Yeah, it's definitely happened a little faster than what I thought. I knew that I would be here one day, but I didn't think it would become this fast. I'm only 23 years old, and I will be the youngest undisputed champion of all time, and the first lightweight undisputed champion in the four belt era. The last person was Pernell Whitaker, and that was in the three belt era. So, yeah, I never thought it would happen this fast, but I'm so thankful for it. I thank God for it every day.
All the attention that you get, all the media, all the stuff, like at 23, does it ever get overwhelming? Do you ever feel like your head is spinning?
No, no, because I know how hard I worked to get here. This has been a long time coming, and honestly, I don't think that I get my just due. I think that I haven't showed my everything that I'm made of, and when the world gets more chances to see my skill set, then I'll even be getting more attention.
Why do you feel like you don't get your just due? Like, what about the way people talk about you, cover you, makes you feel like you are being slighted?
I just feel like I'm the best fighter in the world, and the 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 boxing purists don't say it. The boxing world, they've been trying to keep silent for me about me as long as they can. And I feel like I'm a much bigger fighter. I'm a superstar, and only time will tell.
You started boxing, correct me if I'm wrong, when you were 8?
Yeah, like 7, 8 between those two.
And why did you get into it early on?
I was having problems in school. I was always fighting. I always loved to fight since I was a little kid. And one day my dad took me to the gym. He was like, "You want to fight? I'm gonna take you to the gym, and you're gonna get beat up. Every time you keep fighting, I'm gonna keep bringing you back to the gym." And that one time he took me to the gym, I stayed, and it kept me out of trouble. And here I am.
So even at 7, 8, you're getting into fights. Like, usually you hear kids as teenagers are
Yeah,
getting into fights. You're getting into fights at 7, 8?
yeah. I come from the Bay Area where it's like it's not the nicest. So, um, yeah, it was kids. It was kids that like to fight there too, though, around my age.
Really? Were you fighting any of the
Yeah,
older kids too?
yeah. I didn't pick and choose my battles like now. I was taking on all comers.
And so when you start to, dabble with boxing, you're a young kid. At what point does the dream start to formulate in your brain that you can actually do this for a living, that you're really, really good at this?
Um, I would say like around like 13, 14 is when I like just knew that like this is something that I'm gonna be successful at. Is when I just like started to get super serious and just like fight all the way down is when like 13, 14.
So your dad has been by your side from the get-go, and sometimes I feel like that could be a blessing and a curse, but it seems like you have a very, very good relationship and a loyal relationship with your dad, but he is not, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, overbearing in the sense that he is comfortable with you training with other people. He is not going to
Yeah,
get in the way and steal the limelight from you and say, it's only my way or the highway. Can you talk
yeah.
about your relationship with your dad and what makes him so different than maybe other father-son combos that we've seen in boxing?
Yeah, I'm thankful that I got like a new millennial dad that like just make adjustments. He knows like, my celebrity. He knows the person that I am. So he just adjusting as we get bigger, as I make more money, obviously. So he's a he's a good person to have in my corner because like he's not overbearing like you said.
Has there
if
been
if it's
times?
if it, if it's
Go ahead.
something that like I need to learn from another coach or something like that, or I may not be like getting it from him. He's like he brings somebody else in, and maybe they could tell me in a different way, a better way that he could.
Is it hard sometimes to separate, coach, manager, and father? Like, I'm assuming you guys talk about this life 24/7. Is that tough at times? Does it all
No,
bleed
thank you.
together?
Say one more time. Sorry, that was housekeeping.
No, no problem. Is it hard to separate, like the coach, manager, slash or trainer, manager slash father? Does it all blend together? When you're having dinner or something. I'm assuming you're always talking about
Yeah,
your career, boxing, this and that. Is that tough at times?
yeah. I don't know. It's really just my lifestyle. So like I don't never like dig too deep into it because boxing is really my life. So um if we talk about it, when we talk about if it's at dinner, if it's here, if it's there, I don't really like, take it personal, nothing like that, because it's just something that we always talk about.
What about the decision early on to not sign with, like one of the traditional promoters, an Al Heyman, something like that? You guys decided not to do that. You wanted to do it your own way. Um, were you ever tempted to do that? Because that's a blueprint that a lot of other people have followed, and you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely was tempted on the way, because a lot of money was being thrown at me at a young age to sign, and obviously when you don't have any money, like you like man, on those days when you're broke, you're like man, I just want to sign, I want to get some money, I want to. You see other people, other guys that you came up with signing, and they having more money than you at that time. Yeah, so it was definitely hard in the beginning, but uh, I seen the bigger picture. My dad kept it in me, like one day it's gonna all pay off, and it did because when I signed for a lot, and the guys that was making more than me at a young age, they can't even come close to me now.
Do you feel like it has paid off already, or it's in the process of paying off? Like, do you feel like
No, no, no. I definitely feel like it's paid off already, which and it's getting even better and better. But yeah, it's definitely paid off.
one thing that I find interesting about the early portion of your career, you fought a lot of times in Tijuana. Why did you guys do that? And can you describe what those scenes were like? Like, what was the atmosphere like for those early fights when you're a young stud coming up, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0? All these fights are happening in Mexico.
Yeah, I went to Tijuana because I turned pro at the age of 17, and I was trying to get my boxing license in Vegas, or no, in California first, and they said that they denied me. They said that to get some experience and um to get some more experience in Mexico. I had already fought in Mexico, but I was young, so they were like keep fighting in Mexico and get more experience, and then you can come to the US and fight. So that's how that started. But I always wanted to turn pro at a young age. I was actually going to turn pro at 16, but I was
Wow.
like, but we decided to just wait a little bit longer. So at 17, I turned pro.
And you were fighting like once a week, once a month, all that. And can you just describe like what are those scenes like? Like, do you feel like you're
Yeah,
in hostile territory? You're a young kid. I mean, you're 17 years old fighting these guys over there. What is that like?
yeah. I was fighting in bars, like bars, um, fucking like pool halls and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, it was like hostile. Like it would be like maybe like 500 people. 1,000 people, but the whole place would be against you. Like it would be all like a bunch of Hispanics, and they would just be like cheering, booing me whenever I came out. If a punch even got close to me, they would go crazy. So it was actually like a good experience because when I came back to the U.S. to fight, it was all my family, my friends, my fans. So it was a different atmosphere. But I feel like it prepared me for like the moment that I'm about to have. I'm fighting in Melbourne, Australia, against George Kambosos, and it's going to be 50,000 people, and a lot of them are going to be cheering for him. And but I just feel like it's no difference whether it's 500 people cheering against you or 50,000 people cheering against you. It's they're still going to be doing the same thing whether a punch gets close or they're going to be booing you. So it's a little bit similar to me.
Hmm. One last thing on all that, and of course we'll get to the Kambosos fight. But did you ever feel unsafe? Like you're beating local guys there in these kind of
Yeah.
sketchy areas. Did you ever feel unsafe?
No, I never felt unsafe because they were just like after the fight they were all like love me and want to take pictures, but
All right.
uh but before the fight they were just like boxing fans. It wasn't like nothing crazy.
At what point, which fight was it that you felt like you are on the verge of something? Like, what was the turning point in your
Um,
career, in your
I
mind?
fought a guy. I fought a guy named Mason Menard when I was 19. I fought him on Showbox, and I want to say he was like 32-2. He had like some crazy knockouts, and like the boxing world was saying that I wasn't ready, that I was too young, I was this, I was that. He was gonna knock me out, and I beat him. I stopped him in like once the ninth round or something like that, and that's when I knew like, yeah, I'm on to something. I'm almost where I want to be. That's when I became like a contender. It ranked me in like top 15 or something like that. And yeah.
Yeah, and that wasn't that long ago. That was in May of 2018. So here we are exactly 4 years later, and you're about to do big things. How would you describe your relationship with Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah, Floyd has been a mentor to me for a while now. Since a little kid, I've been in his gym. Um, I've always, been there to see his journey, and to like take little things that I like that he did through his training, through his boxing, through his lifestyle, and add to mine. So he's been a mentor. He's always somebody that I could call up and ask certain things to, and he gives his uh his experience.
At any point, did you consider being promoted by him?
Yeah, Floyd has we talked numerous occasions about him being me being promoted by him, but we just never could get nothing in writing and done. But I thank him for all the knowledge that he's given me up to this point, and it's a lot of respect there.
So one thing that I find really interesting about the sport of boxing and the business of boxing is how you're able to kind of jump around and create your own path and make the most amount of money for yourself. Not that long ago, you were being promoted by Eddie Hearn in Matchroom Boxing. What was your relationship like with Eddie?
Me and Eddie, we had a great relationship. I was actually, sad to have to leave and go work with another promoter. Eddie was good to me, and I forever thank him for everything that he's done for me up to this point.
Now, just curious, for those that don't know, because literally your last fight was with Eddie in Matchroom, why couldn't you have gotten this fight with George while still under his umbrella?
Um, it just the way that the deal was set up, it had to be on ESPN, and I had to go sign with, Top Rank and yeah,
And DeBella.
that's pretty much yes, and Lou DiBella, and that's just pretty much how it was set up. It was either basically do that or the fight couldn't happen, and I had to do what was best for me and my career. And but I also think Top Rank and Lou DiBella, and Peter Connors as well, because I wanted this fight more than anything, and we got it done.
Did Eddie, you know, raise a raise a stink about this? Was he upset about it? How did he react when you had to leave him? Because he's done some great work in building you up.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie definitely wasn't happy about it, which we didn't expect him to be. I
Yeah.
wasn't happy about it. I tried my best to do everything to stay loyal to him and stay with him, but I had to do what was best for me and my career.
So you signed a 2-fight deal with Top Rank and DiBella. Would it be fair to say, if you can answer or not, that once that's done, you'd like to go back to Matchroom?
We don't know what the future holds. Honestly, Top Rank has been good to me so far. Everything has been great. I like working with Top Rank and Lou DiBella. So we don't know what the future holds. You know, we want to get past these 2 fights, and then we see what's next.
How did you feel when it was proposed to you about this fight that it would have to happen in Australia? I know you talked about fighting in enemy territory in the past, but 50,000 people. It's a long flight from Vegas. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, I knew that it was gonna have to be in Australia from the jump. So, and really, I wasn't shaking up about it. I knew that if it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen in Australia. So it wasn't a big deal for me. Honestly, I don't think that it really has set in that it's gonna happen in Australia. It's really just like another fight for me.
Have you gotten confirmation that there will be no Australian judges?
Yeah, it's definitely confirmation. That was before the fight was even set that it would be no Australian judges. It's all neutral judges, and yeah.
You had a press conference with him recently. You weren't in the same, country as him. You were, I think, in LA and he was in Australia. But there seems to be some bad blood between you guys. How would you describe your feelings towards George?
I wouldn't say it's no bad blood. He's stuck in his ego right now. Right now, he's on his high horse, and he's coming off the victory against T.O., and he feels like he's the man, and nobody can tell him different. And that's just for me to show him June 4th that he's not the guy that he really thinks he is, or that the people around him thinks he is, and that's what I'll do.
He kept calling you kid.
Yeah, he was calling me kid and boy, and that's what I was really didn't like because it's just some stuff it's off limits. You don't say, and if you know, then you understand. And I know that he knows that it's off limits for to say those kind of things, but it is what it is.
And so do you feel at this point like he is overhyped? Did you not like what did you think of his performance against Tio?
I thought he put on a great performance. He went in there and he beat him. I thought he beat him clear. I thought it was a clear victory. It was a good fight though. It was an exciting fight. But no, he put on a great performance. But that was against Tio. I'm a different fighter. I said time and time again that I will beat Tio. So we'll see. We'll see who comes out on the top and the difference between me and difference from Tio.
Your father in that press conference said that you guys signed up for this twice. When he was kind of saying that you didn't want this and all this stuff. When was the first time?
No, it's a 2 fight deal.
Right.
So
Oh, so when
when
he
I
said, okay, got it,
yeah, yeah.
because it'll be
So
an immediate rematch.
yeah. So when I beat him the first time, we got to fight again in Australia. So you can never say that I didn't want it because I didn't sign up. I didn't say, hey, you got to come here and fight me in the U.S.
Right.
after I beat you once. I said, you know what? I'm coming back. I'm
Now,
gonna do it
why is
again.
that?
There.
Why was that part of the deal? Why do you have to do the rematch? If you win, why do you have to go back to Australia?
Yeah, because he's a diva, and that's what that's what he insisted for the fight to get made. But it's fine. Well, I just know that the type of fighter that I am, the type of person I am. If I could beat you once, I know I could beat you twice. So it's fine.
He said that the original plan was Lomachenko, but because of the situation in Ukraine, he had to move on to you. But I saw his tweet to Lomachenko and said, "Let me get rid of this guy, and then the real champions will fight." What did you make of that?
Yeah, the real champions will be me and Loma. It won't be him. He won't be the guy. And he'll see. I'll show him that I'm on a different level than this guy. He can say what he want to say. He does a lot of talking, but it's different. It's different, and the world will see. He will see on the June 4th.
Do you like when you fight someone who kind of tries to poke you and get under your skin? Does that raise your
Uh,
motivation?
honestly, it makes no difference. Honestly, like it's the same thing. I'm gonna go in there and do what I'm gonna do regardless, whether he talks, whether he doesn't. It doesn't motivate me or it doesn't like not motivate me. It is what it is. I'm gonna go in there and do my job like a true professional, whether he talks or whether he doesn't.
So the fight is almost essentially a month away. How much in advance will you go to Australia so that your body is completely acclimatized to
Yeah,
the time zone?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there 3 weeks before, to adjust to the timing, the climate. Because when it's summer here,
Hmm.
it's winter there. I'm in Vegas, so it's hot. So we're just gonna get adjusted to the air and all that, and 3 weeks before.
Would it be fair to say this is the biggest purse of your career?
Um, yeah, I would say it's the biggest purse, but I'm definitely it's not nothing that's it's not much bigger than
Really?
what my last purse was. Yeah, it's not much bigger, but I believed in myself, my skills, my talent, um, and I said, you know what, whatever the money is, forget the money. I want to win more than I want the money, so I'm not going to hold this fight up to keep negotiating about money or nothing like that. I really want to win more than anything. I want my name to be in the history books forever. So uh, if I got to take the pay cut because I could have made more money. I would have made more money if I would have stayed with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. But that's why I said that's why I've been saying that I took a pay cut, but it is what it is.
Wow. Okay. So do you feel as though, like, basically, like, do you feel like you're being disrespected by the amount of money that they offered you and you just had to take it for the opportunity, or are you at peace with it? Like, are you annoyed about this or are you okay with it?
No, no, I'm at peace with it because I want to win more than I want the money. I don't care about the money. I made a lot of money already, more money than a lot of people even know. So it is what it is.
Have you had a chance to meet Bob Arum, spend time with him?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I met Bob. We flew
What's he
we flew
like?
on a we flew on a jet from Vegas to LA. He's a cool guy. It's crazy to think that he's 90
Yes.
years old, but he's a legend. He's still doing it at 90 years old. And I asked him, I said, why do you still do this? You're 90 years old. You're rich. You don't even need to. He said just because he genuinely loves it. So you got to respect a guy like that. 90 years old, still going to work every day.
Incredible. I mean, a real legend of the sport, all the people that he has promoted over the years, Ali, I mean, the list goes on and on. So I know it's a huge honor for you. And again, getting a chance to fight on ESPN and not on pay-per-view. This is going to be in prime time here in the United States, Saturday night, June 4th on ESPN. That's a pretty big freaking deal. Like, well over 1 million people are going to be watching this, I would imagine.
Yeah, this is a huge deal. This fight is going to be my most watched fight by far. I've been fighting on the zone, which obviously we know that the eyeballs is not like ESPN prime time, and I'm finally going to get my shot in front of the world for the world to see. And it couldn't have happened at a better time.
I saw recently on social media you've been training and spending some time with Terence Crawford. What
Mhm.
have you been learning from him? Like, what about him has really made an impression on you?
Terrence has just been showing me little tricks, that he does in the ring, and little things that's going to propel my skill set, yeah, even more.
George was at your last fight against Linares, and he was kind of like sitting there. He was like, "Hey, impress me, not impress me." And you did the post-fight interview with DAZN, and he's a part of the thing. Did you like how that was all set up in terms of like you? It was almost set up like Devin has to do something to impress this guy so that you can win the sweepstakes. And I was trying to read your
Yeah.
body language, and I wasn't sure if you were down with all of that.
Yeah, I didn't like that because it's like, why do I need to impress you at the end of the day? At the end of the day, it's champion versus champion, and for all the belts, it does. I don't need to impress you. I can go in there and look terrible as long as I win. Then you should want to make the fight happen. It isn't. I need to put on a good performance or whatever the type of performance up to your standards. What does it matter?
I'm very interested. I hope you don't mind me asking you about this in religion. And I know, like I see in your interviews, you always say Alhamdulillah and things like
Yes.
that. So are you Muslim?
Yes. Yes.
When did that happen? When did you become Muslim?
I want to say I converted about maybe like a year and a half ago.
Right. Yeah, I think at some point in 2021. Why did you do that?
Because well, I've been studying like um Muslim, like the religion for about like since I was about I want to say about 14. My dad took me to the mosque at like 14, And so I've been like understanding it for a while now, and it was just like kind of like a group effort with me and my friends, and we just we were studying it for a while, and that's when we just took our shahada, and yeah.
And your father is as well, right?
My father was took his shahada and stuff like that before me.
Wow. I saw on social media someone was giving you crap about eating during Ramadan. Did that annoy
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, it did kind of annoy me. I'm not gonna lie because they just don't understand. Only Allah can judge, and Allah understands um that it's for my job. It's for me to feed my family and provide for my family. That's why there's no way that I could fast right now because I'm training 2 3 times a day. I don't have time to train just at nighttime. Because I'm training 2 to 3 times a day. My coaches, I train at facilities and that's open during the daytime. So I would be too dehydrated to not drink and to fast all during the day. So, but these things that you can make up, or you can get an exempt for
Mhm.
your for your job. This is what I have to do for me to feed my family.
So when people like come at you like that on social media and you respond to them, like, are you, are you, sometimes some might say just don't respond, right? You're drawing more to, like I
Yeah,
saw it, right?
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
feel,
It pissed me off. That's why I responded, and I
yeah,
hate that I responded to it. But it just pissed me off. Honestly, that's why I responded to it.
right.
But of course, yeah, it's better to not respond to them because one it comes and then another one comes and another one comes, or it's just it gives it too much attention. And even like you've seen it, so
Yeah.
it gives it too much attention. But it is what it is. I gotta it pissed me off.
Now, speaking of social media, I see on your Instagram a lot of jewelry, man. Holy smokes! How much? What do you think is like the total combined worth of all the jewelry you own? It's insane what you're
uh,
rocking.
I got 2 million in jewelry.
What?
2 million, yeah,
Jeez,
2 million
Louise.
in jewelry, yeah. Mhm.
And you think you think that's okay? Like, is that enough, or are you trying to go for
Yeah,
more?
no. I got enough. I got enough jewelry. Like, I want to like buy some more properties and stuff like that, some investment properties and some trucks to invest in, some transporting trucks and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I got enough jewelry.
You know this the classic story of the young boxers. They make all the money, they spend all the money. Do you feel like you are on the straight path here, where you won't fall
Yeah,
into those same
yeah.
traps? And who is responsible for that? Would you say it's your
And
father?
what's Yeah, a lot of people don't know that I've been making money for a while now, and I made well over 2 million. So, and I didn't buy jewelry until now, to where I could buy it 3 4 5 times. So all the jewelry that I got, I could buy many more times.
Sure.
And I just bought it now. Not I wouldn't say late in my career because it's still early, but late into my millions
Right.
that I bought jewelry. So um, yeah, and it's just different now. I don't want to be like I want to be a role model for kids to invest and do right by their money. I'm tired of being the I don't want to be the guy anymore that just gives kids be the wrong role model for kids to just go buy jewelry, go spend all their money and do things like that.
I've heard you say that you're kind of like now in the pretty boy phase of your career, but then soon comes Money Mayweather. But I've seen you with the money and the jewelry. I feel like you're in the Money Mayweather phase right now. Like I didn't,
Yeah, no, no, I don't want to be in that phase right now. Of course, I love money, but right now it's legacy, and that's where I'm at in my career. I want to be the best boxer, the most skillful fighter in the world, and that's why I'm in a pretty boy phase because this is my time to really put uh, my boxing skills on display.
at some point when you get older, do you want to be the bad guy like he was? Like you want to play the heel? That was part of the Money Mayweather, stage of
Yeah,
his career.
I want to just be me. I mean, if that comes, then that comes. It is what it is. I don't know, but I never want to get out of character or try to be somebody that I'm not, because I just truly believe in my talent, my skills, and I know that the money will come regardless.
George was critical of the way you speak. He says you stutter a lot, and that surprised him. What's your response to that?
I'm not here to impress George. He can say what he want to say. Um, I could care less if I stutter, if I don't stutter. Um, it is what it is.
He's really
Who is
trying
he
to
to judge?
he's really trying to get under your skin, huh?
Yeah, he's trying his best to get me out of character, like he did T.O. T.O. went in there and just ran at him like a madman because he was out of character. But he can't get in my head. It is what it is. George is nobody for me to impress, and it is what it is.
So in your mind, how do you win on June 4th?
Skills pay the bills, and I'm a more skillful fighter. There's nothing that he does better than me. I got more speed. I got more power. I got more ring IQ. I'm the bigger fighter. Um, all odds are stacked against him in the ring, and I will show on June 4th.
And so if all goes to plan, does the rematch have to happen by a certain time?
No, no, I don't think so. I'm not sure
Uh-huh.
exactly, but I don't think so.
Okay. But if you do win, the rematch has to happen. And then let's assume here that you win that. Your first title defense against someone not named George Kambosos. In your perfect scenario, who would it be against next year?
Yeah, I'll fight anybody. I'm not ducking or dodging nobody. I want to fight the top guys. I've been saying this for a while now. Whether it's at 135 or 140, it makes no difference. But I can't say right now. This is the Super Bowl of the lightweight division. This is the biggest fight for everything. So it's hard for me to look past him and pick and choose somebody different after. Right now, I'm so focused on him that I can't even look past.
And last thing, at some point when you're all said and done, like how high do you think you can go up? You're still so young. I saw you with Canelo. He might be a little too big. But like what would be the limit in terms of weight that you think you could go up?
Say I got like I'm like 5'9", so I'll say like maybe 154 is the highest I'll
Okay.
probably end up. But Canelo, he's 5'9", 5'8", and he's fucking 175. So
Yeah.
the way that boxing is setting up, you never know.
Well, I want to wish you the best, man. Great to meet you. Congratulations on all your success thus far, and good luck to you on June 4th here in the US, June 5th in Australia. Fantastic fight. You've been killing it lately, and I can't wait for it.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you for the great interview.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Ariel Helwani Show. If you want to check out some of our old episodes, or if you want to stay up to date with all the great things that we are doing here, please do like and subscribe to this here page. Trust me, some really cool things are coming up.